Hey, what's up, Headliner Nation? Well, the saga is officially over, or the drama, or whatever you want to call it. Antonio Brown is officially on the way out of Pittsburgh, and he is headed to Oakland. So the Oakland Raiders have decided to make the move to go get Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown, just as I'm recording this just a few minutes ago, broke the news on Instagram that he was headed to Oakland, and now multiple outlets are finally starting to report that that is in fact true, and that he'll be joining the Oakland Raiders for 1 year in Oakland before they head to Las Vegas. But what was seen as maybe a bad move for the Raiders, if it did end up happening, to me, turns out to be a good move. So Oakland is getting Antonio Brown. He's headed out to the Raiders. Pittsburgh is going to be getting a 2019 third and fifth. A lot of speculation said that they were going to get that 27th overall pick, which is what the Raiders got for Amari Cooper. So basically, trading Cooper for Brown didn't seem to make a whole lot of sense considering how much younger Cooper is. But now you're just giving up a third and a fifth round pick, so why not? Why not make that deal? Now you get a wide receiver one back that replaces Cooper that you were missing last year, and you don't have to give up that first rounder. So I think that is a huge win for the Oakland Raiders, being able to just give up the third and the fifth and not having to give up anything higher than that. The real winner, though, is going to be Antonio Brown here. So we can make fun of the Raiders all we want to, and we'll talk about that team here in a minute, but the contract details that are coming out, and a lot of this right now, Ian Rappaport is out there. He's the one that's really telling us this is what's going on with the trade and what is included in terms of the trade details. Pro Football Talk is the one that has broken some of the information regarding the contract itself. Brown, though, his contract, no years are added, so that he gets to keep his current contract. However, it goes from $38.25 million to $50.125 million. But the big kicker is it goes from zero guaranteed money to $30.125 million in guaranteed money. That's big for him. That's a huge win for him. Really, any football player to get that kind of guaranteed money. So with that being said, let's talk about the Raiders themselves. How is this going to affect the Raiders? And honestly, it's hard to gauge that until free agency and the draft are over, because I anticipate more moves coming. There's talk that maybe one of AB's former teammates, Le'Veon Bell, could end up in Oakland with him. If that happens, obviously it makes that offense a lot better. There's been talk too still about Oakland trying to trade up and grab Kyler Murray. That's something that we did in our mock draft on this channel a couple of weeks ago, was talked about Oakland trading up to get Kyler Murray. Didn't have a whole lot of Raider fans that loved it, but it still could end up being a possibility. So we need to keep an eye on that. But as the team stands right now, so Antonio Brown, he does have a little bit of help. It depends on what you still think of him. But Jordy Nelson finished last year strong, to be honest. And he's still there. So he could help Antonio Brown a little bit. And now, obviously, Jordy Nelson isn't what he used to be. But I think those two working together could end up being a good thing for them. They do have, in terms of other potential players there, a Seth Roberts, a Marcel Aitman, a Brandon LaFell. So not a whole lot of help at wide receiver outside of Jordy Nelson. So I do believe they need to get another wide receiver to come in and help out, whether that be in the draft, maybe adding a guy like a Cole Beasley. Like if you could have Jordy Nelson on the outside, Antonio Brown on the outside, a Cole Beasley in the slot, like things like that are good. But don't forget too, they have Jalen Richard, who was a very good pass catcher this last year out of the backfield. Those things help. So Jalen Richard is another guy that can help out in that pass offense as well. And then we'll have to see what happens with Jared Cook. We'll see what happens with him. But, with all that being said, biggest winner here is Derek Carr for the time being. I don't have any issues with Derek Carr. I still like him. I still think he can be a very good NFL quarterback. Now, if they decide to move on from him and they get Kyler Murray instead, obviously that changes things. But for right now, as the way it stands, Derek Carr could have a decent offense around him when we get to week 1 of 2019. So this trade makes the Raiders better. It makes Derek Carr better. Antonio Brown is still a top wide receiver to me with this move. I know we're going to make fun of the Raiders and what they've done and everything like that, but all it takes is a couple of moves, and this Raiders offense goes from a laughingstock to being one of the better offenses already. Now they're not gonna be a team that goes punch for punch with Kansas City or anything like that, but they could be a team that if they nail the first round of the draft, and personally, in my opinion, they should just keep those picks, not trade up for Kyler Murray, keep Derek Carr, work on the defense, get yourself another offensive tackle, offensive lineman in this draft to help the offensive line. And then if you've got the money, go sign yourself a Mark Ingram, a Le'Veon Bell. Go get yourself another running back. Marshawn Lynch, obviously a free agent, so that's not anything. I mean, he's probably not coming back at this point, even though he has said he's going to be coming back. But if they had a guy like Le'Veon Bell, all of a sudden the Raiders offense looks 10 times better than what it did last season. So a lot of things still in the works, but this is a breakdown kind of what's going on with that. If you have any questions for us about what this means for the Raiders or anybody else or Pittsburgh, make sure you hit those comments up below. Let us know your questions. We'll get back to you right away. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet as well. My name's Kyle Richardson here with the Fantasy Headliners. Thanks so much for tuning into this quick reaction piece here about Antonio Brown headed to Oakland. Finally, all the drama's over with, and we can move on from that and start focusing on free agency. Have a great one, everyone, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks.